Let's go Lions! According to recent reports, the Detroit Lions are still looking to add to their roster in order to keep our performance up there. Some names have been floating around in trade rumors. The questions that remain are, who are these names? Will it actually happen? What's in store for the Lions? Before we dive into today's news, be sure to hit the like button so you don't miss any updates on the Lions. And let me know how long you've been a Lions fan in the comments below. I want to hear from you. Okay, let's get started. With Aiden Hutchinson out for the season, the Detroit Lions are looking to fill a huge hole in their defense. We've all been talking about the possibility of getting Max Crosby, right? Well, here's the thing. It looks like the Lions may be going after a more realistic and affordable target. NFL insider Diana Rossini of The Athletic has some interesting information. She recently mentioned on The Herd with Colin Cowherd that the Lions should make some calls, specifically to the Cincinnati Bengals, and guess who might be on the trade radar? Trey Hendrickson. Now, Hendrickson may not have the same level of hype as someone like Crosby or Myles Garrett, but let me tell you, this guy can get it done. Since joining the Bengals, Hendrickson has been one of the league's top pass rushers. He's been to the Pro Bowl each of the last 3 seasons and even had a career-high 17.5 sacks last year. This season, he already has 7 sacks, 4 of which have come in the last 2 games. That's no joke, and his value is only going up. What's even more interesting is that Hendrickson has a connection with Dan Campbell and Aaron Glenn from their time together in New Orleans, so there's already some familiarity there, which could make a potential trade easier to execute. And let's be real, if we can get Hendrickson without giving up multiple first-round picks, it could be a perfect move to keep our defense strong as we move forward into the season. I know, Lions fans, there's always hype around big names, but Hendrickson is the kind of player who can get the job done quietly without all the flashy headlines. He may not be the loudest option, but he could very well be the smartest. And with our pass rush in need of a big boost, Hendrickson could be the Hutchinson replacement we've been desperately looking for. Now, it's all about whether the Bengals are willing to trade. So, what do you think? Should the Lions make a serious play for Trey Hendrickson, or should they wait for a bigger name? Another hot topic that has everyone talking, a potential trade for Zadarius Smith. According to Browns reporter Brad Stainbrook, the Detroit Lions are one of several teams that have reached out to the Cleveland Browns about a potential trade for the veteran edge rusher. Along with us, teams like the Ravens and Commanders have also expressed interest. But let's focus on what this could mean for our Lions. Zadarius Smith, the 32-year-old pass-rushing machine, has had quite the season thus far. He has recorded sacks in 4 of the Browns' 7 games, along with 3 additional tackles for loss. His current PFF grade is 67.6, ranking him 38th out of 73 edge rushers, solid numbers for a guy who could bring some serious heat to our defensive line. And let's not forget, at 6 feet 4 inches and 275 pounds, Smith is a force to be reckoned with, not only in pass rushing, but also in stopping the run. Just what we need to fill the void left by Aiden Hutchinson's injury. When asked last week about a potential move to Detroit, Smith seemed open to the idea, saying, "I'm optimistic, but now that you say it, it might be a good look, a good feeling for me." That's right, Lions fans, he's intrigued by the idea of joining us. And given the Browns' rocky start to the season, at 1-6, and now losing Deshaun Watson for the year, it makes sense that they could become sellers at the trade deadline. Moving a veteran like Smith for some draft capital seems like a smart move for them. Even Dan Campbell has hinted that the Lions front office is working hard to find help on the defensive line. In his radio appearance Tuesday morning, Campbell said, "Believe us, we're looking. Brad is on it, and we'll find someone that fits with us and brings something. Like I said, a complementary piece that helps the defensive line." This sounds like we're in serious business mode, and a player like Zadarius could be just what we need to keep the pressure on opposing quarterbacks. So what do you think, Lions fans? Should we make a move for Zadarius Smith, or do you have your sights set on someone else? Let me know in the comments below. Now, let's take a look at how Jared Goff destroyed the Vikings defense in a thrilling road win that put us in first place in the NFC North. It was a roller coaster of a game, with the Lions starting slow before roaring back to life and making the big plays needed in the fourth quarter to secure the win. Let's dive into how Goff and the offense adjusted to Minnesota's tough defensive schemes and turned a rough start into a crucial win. Early on, it looked like the Vikings defense had our number. The Lions' offensive line was struggling to find its feet, especially after Kyoto Wasaka was flagged twice for holding. On top of that, Jared Goff was tackled by Andrew Van Ginkel on second down of the first drive. It was a mess. Minnesota deployed a 4-man front, and just as Goff was making adjustments, the Vikings linebackers came down hard. Ivan Pace Jr. got through the line and forced Goff to run, only for Van Ginkel to come in unblocked and finish the job. That forced us to a 3rd and long, and we had to punt. But here's the thing about this Lions team. They don't stay down for long. The offense got its first down of the game on the final play of the first quarter, giving the team life. Jahmyr Gibbs then broke free with a touchdown run that cut Minnesota's lead to 10-7. That touchdown seemed to wake up the entire team, and suddenly Goff was back in the groove. On the next drive, Goff began to pick apart the Vikings' defense. Facing a blitz, he threw a perfect back foot pass to Amon-Ra St. Brown, who filled the gap left by the blitzer. Goff knew exactly where to go with the ball, and it was that kind of precise decision-making that began to dismantle Minnesota's defense. Then came the moment that really changed the momentum. After a false start set us back, the Lions found themselves on a 2nd and 11 from the Vikings' 35-yard line. Goff sensed a man moving to read the coverage, saw that his 2 wide receivers were in man coverage, and knew this was his moment. The Vikings sent 6 players on a run, but great blocks by Penei Sewell and wide receiver Tim Patrick, who was blocking Van Ginkel, gave Goff enough time to throw a beautiful pass down the seam to St. Brown for the score. It was a perfectly executed play under heavy pressure and gave us the lead. Speaking of Tim Patrick, he's been a solid addition to this offense. He's not putting up crazy stats, but his size, physicality, and smart playmaking are exactly what this team needed. And it's not just his blocking. Patrick made a huge catch on a play where Goff narrowly avoided a sack. With the Vikings' defense quickly collapsing the pocket, Goff was able to get ahead and get a shot to Patrick in the middle of the field, helping the Lions move the chains. Plays like this are why Patrick has quietly become a key part of this offense. Now, let's talk about the game's most defining moment. With less than 3 minutes left and trailing 29-28, the Lions had the ball at their own 30-yard line. It was time for the showdown, and Goff was ready to deliver. Jahmyr Gibbs made 2 big plays, including a 14-yard run and a 16-yard reception that moved the Lions into Vikings territory. But it wasn't enough to just get into field goal range. The Lions wanted to make it easy for Jake Bates, who was lining up for his first potentially game-winning kick of the game. Goff ran a play-action play, and the Vikings sent a 5-man rush. But our offensive line held strong, with Frank Ragnow providing the key block to give Goff the time he needed. Goff found St. Brown again for a 14-yard gain, setting up an even closer field goal attempt for Bates. Bates made the kick, sealing the win for the Lions and moving us into the lead in the division. Lions fans, this was a masterclass in adjustments and execution from Goff and the offense. What do you think? Are you confident in Goff leading this team through the rest of the season? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for all the latest Lions updates. Let's go, Lions!